Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. We get together with our distribution partners and our clients most weekday mornings, 8 o'clock Central at this time. We talk about tools, tips, strategies, share success stories, and support each of you. We are really pleased today to announce a new training curriculum. Now, the truth is there's two parts to the training curriculum, the one that we'll discuss today, and then a more advanced curriculum that would follow after this one. But let's start with what we have here on the screen, which is the Credit and Funding Specialist Certification. The Credit and Funding Specialist Certification Summary. It takes less than 2 hours to go through this curriculum, so it's very succinct. And it's a great fit for really, I guess, a couple different types of people, because the question always has to be, well, who should go through this? Well, certainly any of you that are active as distribution partners, we do encourage you to go through it. And it's free, so obviously pricing is not a problem. It's convenient, it's on demand. Secondly would be, I don't think it would be a bad idea for the typical client to go through, because they'll develop a stronger foundation of financial literacy of what does it take to become fundable. We have a lot of clients that come to us and they want funding, and sometimes they demand funding. But what you and I know is we have to be qualified for funding. And then the third would be just individuals that may be considering a career change, that's looking to develop some very practical hands-on skills that they could monetize afterwards. So those are the three types of people that might in fact want to go through the new Credit and Funding Specialist Certification. So we thought a lot about the construct of this. So it is online, on demand, very convenient. So as I alluded to a moment ago, there's actually two levels of the training. We're looking at the introductory or the basic training here today. The advanced training is done in person, because now we're doing hands-on exercises such as best practices in developing the personal financial statements, best practices in credit report analysis. So the second section, which is optional, advanced, is in person. This certification that we're looking at here is in fact online and on demand. Several of, well, the three of us that formed our model, and I know many of you have worked for either the SBA or SBDCs. And so I remember when I first was hired as an SBDC advisor, they sent me to Washington, D.C. to a training. And this curriculum is not the same, but it's very similar. It has some very similar attributes. Now, that was in-person training. This is online, on demand. But again, we'll get to the advanced training for those that want to after completing this one. So once someone goes through the certification, they'll be able to teach their curriculum. And of course, they'll be well positioned to use this new knowledge to be able to generate income if they want. And we did apply for a grant. We received the grant. So when people ask what's the cost to become certified, it's zero. There's no cost. So let me briefly reference the 4 modules in the curriculum. Module 1 is focused on understanding the 3 C's. Now, you and I, we spend a lot of time on these trainings, so you know it like the back of your hand. But it resolves the conflict. The conflict is a lot of people want funding. However, a lot of people don't qualify for funding. So what we do in Module 1 is help them understand what are the 3 C's. Of course, credit, collateral, and capacity. Why does that matter? And so forth. So Module 1 is about a 30-minute session that, again, I mean, we're very transparent. Here's the link. So there's not some bureaucratic requirement to get access to the curriculum. Here is lesson 1. And I sent it to all of you yesterday, by the way, in preparation for today's call. Module 2 does address how to monetize it, because there's so many people that need help with credit, that need help with accessing capital. And this is an opportunity to take this knowledge and to monetize it, whether it be through our model or otherwise, it doesn't really matter. So then that's module 2. Module 3 is something that's really important to us. And we had this training recently for all of you live, and that's going out and setting up community clinics. Again, those of you that went to law school or even paralegal programs, you're like me, we went out and we did free community legal clinics where we help people address child support issues, help them get parking tickets or moving traffic tickets removed or negotiated down. Many of you have walked that path like I have. Here, we're not doing a legal clinic. We're doing a credit and funding clinic, but it's set up very much like probably what you did in your legal clinics. It's based around working with key influencers, churches, chambers, and so forth. So that is module 3. So in other words, let's build a foundation of knowledge. Let's talk about how to help others with it and monetize it. And then let's talk about best practice of getting out in front of people to help them. And then module 4 is called the capstone. So it's the final of the 4 modules of this introductory training. And that is overcoming strategies, somewhat psychological strategies to help people overcome barriers that may be preventing them from being successful. Because a lot of people don't know what they don't know, or they have false or inaccurate understanding of how financial topics work. So these are the 4 modules that anyone can access for the new credit and funding certification curriculum. They can complete them at their convenience. They can start and stop. There's no specific time frame that they have to complete it. Very, very flexible. And then once they've completed those modules, then there is a competency exam. As you know, I'm a former high school teacher, and then I went on to be a college professor. So it's very important to assess knowledge. Does the person know what they should know after they've completed the curriculum? So in other words, there's a test. If we wanted to say, there's a test for these individuals. And it's an open book test. So it's not, I wouldn't say that it's easy, but it is open book, because we understand the nature of being able to go back and reference material. We don't have to memorize everything. And from there, once they pass the exam, then they'll get a certificate, a real certificate. Now, with that being said, for those that have completed this certification, which is free and easy, then they will be eligible, if they wish, to take the advanced training. And as I made reference to a few minutes ago, the advanced training we're only doing in person. It's a 1-day in-person training. It is, I don't want to say rigorous, but it's hands-on, and it's practical. And the examples I gave before are exactly accurate. You know, we need to make sure that if we're going through the advanced curriculum, we know what a balance sheet and an income statement is. What's the difference? What makes a good balance sheet? What makes a good income statement? How to evaluate it, how to strengthen it. From a personal financial statement for the individual that calculates net worth, how do you fill that out? How do we determine if it's strong or it's weak? If it's weak, how do we legally improve it? From a credit perspective, we need to know how to read a credit report, analyze the credit report, determine if there's negative items that need to be removed, determine if there's an opportunity to add positive trade lines to strengthen. So that's advanced training, but the advanced training really is immaterial if we don't have the basics. So I'm going to make this a bit smaller. So am I saying that each of you have to go through this? Absolutely not. If you'd like to, you're welcome to, no requirement. But we would like, if you are a distribution partner, to at least consider going through this, because this provides a really good foundation of knowledge. And then those of you that want to complete the advanced curriculum will be getting together in person. And with the in-person, we'll spend a full day together. It's 6 to 8 hours. It just depends upon how much audience participation and how many questions we have. We've conducted those in-person trainings for years, and then COVID happened and it kind of stopped. But we love doing those, and we'll make those available in different cities across the country. So if you wanted to do the advanced certification, you're welcome to, but that's irrelevant right now. Right now, what we need to focus on is the basic, which is described here. Who has questions, comments, concerns on this new certification curriculum? And again, I sent this out to each of you yesterday. If you didn't have it, I apologize, but you should have it. I'll try to get it out to everyone today with the recording. So you're welcome to plug into it, because you might say, well, how do I register? Well, the first step is to go through the curriculum, which you can do day or night, weekday, weekend, whenever you want, as soon as you want, right? You have access to the curriculum. There's no hoops to jump through. Then you need to let us know when you're ready to take the competency exam. And of course, or contact us information. And then once you take the exam, if you pass it, which we hope you will, if not, you can retake it. But once you take the competency exam, then you'll get your certificate, and then you'll be invited to attend the advanced training if you want. If you decide to attend one of the advanced trainings, we won't be going through this material. Thus, it's important that you've gone through it beforehand, because if you don't have this foundation of knowledge before you come to the in-person, I think you'd be ill-equipped, ill-prepared. All right, who has questions or feedback on the Credit and Funding Specialist Certification Program? Andrea, Bernard, Jeanette, Lon, Pauline, Sharita, Terrence, Tony, others, who has questions, comments, concerns on this curriculum? So we've talked about the what. We've discussed the what, of course, is what's included. We've talked about the why, because it's designed to help, whether it be any of those three groups, either current distribution partners, clients, or others, which encompasses everyone, to help them have a really good practical skill set and knowledge base and foundation of how credit and funding works. So we can start dismissing myths and educating, because our society, if you look at our society, our educational system is set up to teach us how to go get a job, not how to create jobs. Even people that have entrepreneurial college degrees will often come out and they'll lack some of the practical skills that are needed to be successful. And so you and I can do this. Now, Timothy's asking an interesting question. Could he take this out to the marketplace and use it as a lead generator for clients to enroll in the credit and funding program? Sure, if you would like. It's not designed specifically for that, but you're right, Timothy. If you had someone that went through this curriculum, and you could interface with them if you want, you don't have to, but you certainly could. I believe that by the time they've completed these 4 trainings, they're going to say, wow, now I know what it takes to get funded, because we're providing tangible, practical, obviously legal, and effective information, what it takes to become fundable, and then how to leverage that knowledge to help others. And so Jeanette has kind of a similar question, or hers is multi-part, but how does she use this certification? Well, first of all, hopefully you would use it in the sense that it would increase your knowledge, your confidence, your competence in what we do. So kind of that intrinsic benefit. And then she secondly asked about marketing, which is kind of similar to Timothy's question. Sure, if you wanted, because remember, we're transparent. We're not setting a bunch of hurdles. You could go out and market this training if you wanted as a way to either build referral partners, build clients, or what have you. So it's really up to you how you might want to leverage it. Now, once they've gone through the 4 modules, again, we're going to need to assess them to get them certified. But up to that point, you can be as creative as you want. Take Alfred, who's on the line. Alfred is one of our distribution partners, but Alfred's figured it out. He knows he only has so much time in the day. So he has a number of referral partners that are out marketing for it. And so what Alfred has said is that he wants to use this as part of the required, we'll call it job training, if you will, for his referral partners, so they know more about how this works. Because the credit and funding program, it's legal, it's effective, we do what we say that we'll do, but it's different than what most people think about. Most people think, oh, it'd be based upon where I'm at now, and I either get qualified or I get denied. Where what you and I do with credit and funding is we educate them and we help them move from where they're at to where they need to be. So it's a different approach. So legally and ethically, we help them improve their 3 C's, credit, collateral, and capacity, so they do get qualified for funding. So it's really up to you. This is a tool, it's a resource. If you want to go through it, awesome. Here's how to do it. If you want to help other people go through it and you can find creative ways to leverage that to your benefit, hey, that's fine. We would ask that you don't charge people to go through it, because we're not charging people to go through it. So if you charged and we don't, that would probably create some anguish on their part if they felt that they paid for something that they didn't receive, or didn't have to pay for, I should say. Sarah's asking an interesting question. So Sarah is reconciling. So we've got the basic training here, which is what we've discussed. And Sarah is commenting about the advanced training that we do. So anyone that's completed this then would be eligible to go to our in-person advanced training. Sarah's asking, can she teach this in person? And the answer is yes. So we wouldn't come out and teach it. We come out and teach the advanced. But yes, Sarah, if you wanted, you could get a room at a library or at a church or co-working space or wherever you want. You could have people set aside a 4-hour block, an AM, a PM, an evening, a Saturday morning. It's up to you. And you could actually get them in a room, have a projector or a flat screen TV, and go through this and discuss it with them. So you're right, Sarah. So you could, if you wanted to be so proactive, you could certainly take this and package it for an in-person education, which frankly kind of fits nicely in to the whole concept of the community credit and funding clinics, which is doing in-person education and providing free resources. So that's interesting and a great point, Sarah. Thank you. Anyone else have questions, comments, concerns on the training curriculum? You should have it. It was sent out to you. If you'd like to go through it, you're welcome to do so. Once you've completed the modules, then you're going to let us know so we can get you the assessment, the test, if you will, to get you certified. If you complete that, then you're going to be more than welcome to work with us in attending the in-person advanced trainings, which again, hands-on. So now we're looking at balance sheets and income statements, what they are, how to improve them. We're looking at personal financial statements. We're looking at credit reports. So it's the practical implementation side of how to help people improve their 3 C's. Here we're introducing what the 3 C's are, why they're relevant, and building a basis of knowledge. But the advanced training is frankly more complicated. That's why we do it in person and literally go through in a hands-on experience. But you don't have to do the in-person. You can do this with no further obligation. So don't misinterpret. Anyone else have questions, comments, concerns? All right. Well, very good. I will get this out to everyone, to our entire distribution team. If you are currently a branch manager, you would have received this as a reminder for this morning's training. If you're not one of our branch managers, you may not have received the reminder, but we can get you help you get set up as a branch if you'd like. And that is lucrative because we do a 50-50 revenue split. You control the client pricing, terms and conditions, but that's not really the topic of today. But I will get this out to everyone. If you need any personalized assistance, you know how to reach us. Thank you all. Have a good day. We'll see you back tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.